Welcome aboard, thrill seekers. Tonight we're flying through the most chilling tales ever told at 30,000 feet. Imagine yourself strapped into your seat, the cabin lights dim, and the only sounds you hear are the whispers of the unknown. As our flight takes off into the dark, eerie sky, let's delve into stories that have puzzled experts and terrified passengers alike. From vanished flights to phantom passengers, these tales are not just stories. They are mysteries flying high above logic and reality. It was a flight like any other. Passengers settled in, the hum of the engines in the background, a typical journey across the ocean. But what started as a routine trip soon turned into one of aviation's greatest mysteries. The aircraft, a modern marvel of technology, vanished without a trace. Radar screens blinked out one by one, communications silenced, leaving only the vast, unforgiving sea below. Experts scrambled, search teams were deployed, but no debris, no black box, no signs of any crash were ever found. Theories abound. Was it alien abduction, a rift in the space-time continuum, or something even more sinister? As we dive deeper, the story becomes even more perplexing. Relatives of the passengers reported receiving text messages hours after the flight disappeared. Messages that were chillingly normal, discussing weather and meals, as if nothing was amiss. Governments kept tight-lipped, and conspiracy theorists had a field day. Some say the flight stumbled upon a top-secret military experiment gone wrong. Others whisper of a ghostly aircraft that appears and disappears at will, haunting the skies. As we explore these eerie possibilities, the question remains, how can a fully loaded passenger jet just vanish into thin air? Years have passed, and the families of the vanished souls still seek answers, clinging to the hope that somewhere out there, the truth waits to be uncovered. Meanwhile, the world continues to fly, each passenger unknowingly a part of a narrative much larger than themselves. A narrative that challenges our understanding of reality itself. Join me as we continue to unravel this spine-chilling enigma. Could the answers lie hidden in government archives, or are they part of a larger cosmic puzzle that we are not meant to solve? The disappearance of this flight might remain one of the modern world's most haunting and enduring mysteries, compelling us to look to the skies with wonder and fear. Our journey through the skies takes a spectral turn as we recount the tragic tale of Flight 401, which met its fate one fateful night over the swamps of Florida. The crash was devastating, but what followed is truly beyond the realms of explanation. Salvaged parts from the wreckage were used in other planes, a common practice in the aviation industry. However, it wasn't long before crew and passengers aboard these planes began experiencing unexplainable phenomena. Reports flooded in of apparitions and eerie sounds emanating from the very parts that once belonged to Flight 401. A ghostly figure seen in the galley, whispers heard over the radio, and even tools moving on their own. These occurrences sent chills down the spines of those who witnessed them. Aviation workers whispered of a curse, one that lingered over the reused components, a reminder perhaps of the souls lost that night. Skeptics dismiss these tales as mere coincidence or the overactive imaginations of stressed crew members. Yet, those who've seen the spectral figures argue otherwise. They speak of encounters so vivid, so terrifying, that they refuse to step foot on the aircraft again. Could it be that the spirits of those lost in Flight 401 are restless, perhaps seeking justice, or simply a way to communicate from beyond? The legacy of Flight 401 challenges our understanding of life after death. It compels us to question the boundaries between this world and the next. Could the intense energy of a tragic crash imprint itself onto physical objects? Are these hauntings a cry for help, a warning, or maybe an assurance that there's something beyond the veil of death? Tonight, as we glide through the dark, remember that the skies are not just a passage from point A to B. They are a realm where the past and the present intertwine, where each flight carries not just passengers, but stories. Some whispered in hushed tones, others screamed from the ether. Imagine this. You're high above the clouds, cruising at 35,000 feet, when suddenly the airplane starts to shudder. The overhead bins pop open, luggage and personal belongings are thrown into the air. The lights flicker, and a cold, inexplicable wind sweeps through the cabin. This isn't just turbulence. This is the beginning of what passengers described as a flight straight out of a nightmare. In 2013, Flight 908 was en route from London to New York when it experienced what can only be termed as an uncontrolled descent. Over the span of mere minutes, the plane plummeted several thousand feet. Passengers screamed, prayed, and some even penned goodbye notes to loved ones. Despite the pilot's desperate efforts to regain control, the aircraft seemed to have a mind of its own. Eyewitnesses among the passengers reported seeing flickering figures and hearing whispers that were drowned out by the roar of the engines and cries of the terrified passengers. Even more chilling, several passengers felt invisible hands gripping their shoulders and arms. The temperature in the cabin dropped sharply, as though the aircraft had opened its doors to another dimension. Experts later tried to rationalize the episode, citing possible mechanical failures or sudden air pressure changes. However, those on board have their own theories. Some believe that the aircraft passed through a paranormal vortex, a gateway to another realm that is occasionally pierced by our world. The descent lasted for about 10 agonizing minutes before the pilots finally managed to stabilize the aircraft. But the ordeal wasn't over. Throughout the remainder of the flight, electrical glitches continued. Lights would dim and flicker without explanation, and the in-flight entertainment systems turned on and off by themselves. Upon landing, a thorough inspection was conducted, but no mechanical faults were found. No explanations could be given for the sudden descent, the cold spots, or the ghostly apparitions. The aircraft was briefly grounded, but eventually returned to service. However, reports of strange occurrences on subsequent flights quickly led to its permanent retirement. This story leaves us with more questions than answers. Was Flight 908 caught in a transient supernatural event? Or is there a scientific explanation yet to be discovered? Whatever the truth may be, the passengers of Flight 908 experienced something beyond normal understanding. This chilling tale serves as a stark reminder of the mysteries that still surround air travel. While technology and science have given us the power to soar above the clouds, there are forces out there in the vast skies that remain beyond our control and comprehension. Thanks for joining me on this terrifying flight. Remember, the next time you buckle up, you might not be flying alone. As we close our investigation on these ominous skies, we're left pondering the deep, unexplained mysteries that fly with us. The stories we've explored today remind us that the skies are not just vast expanses of air, but also of mysteries and perhaps entities unknown. Keep your eyes open and your mind alert. You never know what might be sharing your next flight. Until next time, stay safe and keep questioning the unknown.